Live from the Watchbox Studios.
Good afternoon to you. Brian McConkey here. We are breaking into your regularly scheduled programming to bring you live coverage of President Donald Trump's visit here to South Carolina. He is currently in the Palmetto State on the ground in North Charleston visiting the Boeing plant there. They will be unveiling the 787-10 Dreamliner, which Boeing officials are calling the greatest plane on the planet. Henry McMaster, the governor, currently speaking there ahead of the president's speech, which is expected to happen here in the next few minutes. Of course, Governor McMaster, the first elected official, one of the first elected officials to endorse Mr. Trump during the campaign. This is Donald Trump's first visit, of course, to South Carolina since winning the election, and his first visit to South Carolina since he won the Republican primary here in the Palmetto State more than a year ago. I'm going to let you listen in now to Governor McMaster as we presume he is about to introduce the president to an overwhelming amount of people there at that Boeing facility this afternoon.
Colonies. This place that we call South Carolina right here, and we headed that way again. And I'll tell you why. Part of it is because you are here. Part of it is because we have the greatest people in the whole world. We're different, we're smart, we work hard, and we're determined, and we don't quit. Part of it is because we have one of the greatest teams, which we call a company, goes by the name of the Boeing Company, right here in South Carolina as a part of our family. This is a great company, made great by all of you. This company, this team, is built in just the last 7 years. It's unbelievable, the progress that you've made. This great team built all of this, and this is one of 3 factories in the world that build a big double-aisle airplane. There are 3 of them, and 2 of them are owned by Boeing. Finally, let me say this. I'm a happy man for another reason, and that is because of an unforgettable night in November. An unforgettable night in November when the people of America rose up as never before. There was something like it in 1980 with Ronald Reagan. Ronald Reagan was a great man, and he led us to great prosperity. But on that November night, the people rose up and chose as their leader a man who is charting and will deliver a new course to strength, prosperity, and greatness for this country that we love, that we call America. And that man is the one and only President Donald J. Trump. And together, these great people and this great company and this great president are going to lead this country to greatness, strength, and prosperity. We will make America great again, greater than ever before. And thank you. Thank you.
Okay, and now to lead us in the blessing of the fleet, it is my pleasure to introduce the Reverend Dr. Charles Jackson from Brooklyn Baptist Church in West Columbia, South Carolina. Dr. Jackson, please come.
Let us pray. Eternal God, our Heavenly Father, to whom the earth belongs, the fullness thereof, the world, and they that dwell therein. We look to you, dear God, just now for the inspiration that you and you alone can give. Our hearts are filled with gladness, and our spirits overflow with thanksgiving. We thank you for this beautiful day you've given us to enjoy and to come together and celebrate with Boeing the rollout of their 787-10. We thank you, dear God, for the building of this plane, and we ask, God, that you would be pleased to bless the 787-10. Bless Boeing's fleet of planes. We believe in your sovereignty. So we place the 787-10. We place Boeing's fleet of planes. We place the administration and the management, the employees, all who work together, dear God, toward this end. We ask, God, that you would be pleased to continue your favor, showering blessings upon Boeing in that which they do. This is your servant's prayer as we ask your continued blessings upon our Governor Henry McMaster, our President Donald Trump. Our prayer just now is to the end that your will is done on earth as it is in heaven. And for such we'll be mindful to give praises unto you. In the victorious name of Jesus our Christ we pray, amen, and thank God.
That was Reverend Charles B. Jackson of Brooklyn Baptist Church, of course, from right here in the Midlands, blessing the fleet at Boeing in North Charleston just a moment ago. We are still awaiting the arrival of President Donald Trump, who is on the ground here in South Carolina. We understand he is actively touring the Boeing facility there right now. This afternoon, the aircraft giant will be unveiling the brand new 787-10 Dreamliner, the very first to roll off the assembly line there. It has rolled out ahead of schedule. Mr. Trump presumably here to also likely make some comments about a critical union vote that happened earlier this week in North Charleston. A shade under 3,000 eligible workers there at Boeing were asked to vote on bringing the International Associations of Machinists Union to be a part of their operations there. They voted 74% no against joining that organization, so no union in place at Boeing. Boeing officials very emphatic about that today during this ceremony, repeatedly saying this is our house and thanking the workers in attendance today for keeping the union out of that facility. It was thought that this second production line was brought to South Carolina because of the fact that there is resistance to unions here in South Carolina. They do exist, but not in wide abundance, of course. Donald Trump, more on his visit also, he's been critical of Boeing in the past, blasting them, in fact, for planning a manufacturing facility in China not long ago. And if you remember back in December, after he won the election and before he was inaugurated, he actually threatened to cut ties with Boeing. He was highly critical of what was a multi-billion-dollar price tag for Boeing building a new Air Force One plane. Took to Twitter, as he often does, also hosting some impromptu media briefings on that before he took the oath of office, threatened to cut that contract that Boeing has had in making those airplanes for quite some time. Now, there are some rallies also going on outside that facility, far away from what we're looking at right here. They certainly wouldn't have very much access to the Boeing facility there. A pair of rallies, one pro-President Trump, one anti-President Trump, as happens when visits of this magnitude take place. We're seeing some activity there now at the Boeing facility in that amazingly large hangar. It appears that the thousands of people there in attendance taking some video with their cell phones, as we presume that the president is going to be making his way to the stage here momentarily. Henry McMaster, our governor, spoke just a few moments ago. We presumed that he would introduce President Trump, considering he was one of the first elected officials in this country to announce his official endorsement while Mr. Trump was then candidate Trump. But Mr. McMaster saying that this was, quote, the greatest day in the history of South Carolina. He referred to himself as the happiest man on earth right now as he prepared to welcome President Trump and some of his top-ranking officials with him during this visit for this unveiling of the Boeing 787-10 Dreamliner, which of course officials not only with the aviation giant are excited about, but also North Charleston and Low Country officials because of the significance that is expected to bring to that region because of this state-of-the-art plane that is going to be rolled off. We have another speaker that is about to take the podium now. I believe it is Boeing Chairman, President and CEO Dennis Muhlenberg. I don't know if the cameras are going to pan back to him or not, but he is about to give some remarks. He is the last speaker listed on our expected list of speakers, other than the president, of course. We've also heard from Boeing Commercial Airplanes President Kevin McMaster. And now you see the president, who is getting quite an ovation there in North Charleston, making his way slowly to the stage, wearing the red tie that he generally does during these public appearances. Mr. Muhlenberg shaking hands and introducing the president to the stage. I'm going to let you listen into some of the proceedings now as we wait for comments from President Donald Trump in his first visit to South Carolina since being sworn in as president and since winning the Republican primary here in South Carolina.
Beautiful day here, and doesn't that airplane look great? Hey, we've got a record turnout for a rollout event here today, more than 5,000 people. I want to thank all of our Boeing teammates that are here. Very proud of the work you're doing. We have Boeing teammates watching around the world as well. Thank you for what you do every day for our customers around the world, building the best airplanes anybody makes anywhere. So thank you, Boeing, South Carolina. Also want to thank all of our special guests here today. You'll be hearing from President Trump just shortly here. I just had the privilege of walking through this factory with him. We talked to a few of our people, watched the airplanes being built. Now I'll say I think he was impressed with what he saw. I'll let him provide his own characterization of that when he comes up. But we have amazing work going on here. And a airplane rollout event is a historic, inspiring event. This is the first 787-10 built right here in Charleston, an incredible airplane that's going to change the world for our customers. And when we roll out a new airplane, we remember all the investments that have gone into this. This area here, 7 years ago, was swampland. Today, after $2 billion of investment and partnership here in the community, this is a modern aerospace facility building the highest technology airplanes in the world, and we've added thousands and thousands of jobs over that time period. This is about manufacturing in the U.S. Going forward, Boeing's going to be spending another $6 billion of R&D and capital in the United States this year, investing in innovation. The new paint hangar here at Charleston is just another example of that. And going forward, Mr. President, our commitment to you and to our country is that we're going to continue to build dreams. We're going to continue to grow and sustain jobs here in the U.S. And we're going to continue to bring innovation, bring new innovation to our customers that allows them to connect, protect, explore, and inspire the world. So on behalf of 150,000 plus Boeing employees, including many here today working across 3 shifts, who took the time to be here, across more than 1.5 million aerospace workers in the U.S. in our supply chain, it is my great privilege to introduce the President of the United States, Donald J. Trump.
Thank you, Dennis. And I have to say, I love South Carolina. I love it. Remember, we came down all together. We came down, and this was going to be a place that was tough to win, and we won in a landslide. This was a good one. So I want to thank the people of South Carolina and your governor. Tremendous guy. He supported us right from the beginning. So I'd like to thank Governor McMaster for the incredible job. He's right here someplace. Thank you very much. You have been fantastic. And I have to say also, that is one beautiful airplane. Congratulations to the men and women here who have built it. What an amazing piece of art. What an amazing piece of work. Thank you, Dennis, for the invitation to be with you today. You know, in the old days when I made this speech, I got paid a lot of money. Now I have to do it for nothing. So. Not a good deal, but that's okay. We love it. It's wonderful to be back in South Carolina, especially with your new governor. Where is Henry? He's around here someplace. Where is he? Stand up, Henry. Proud of you. He helped us so much. And I want to also thank your former governor, Nikki Haley, who's doing an awfully good job for us. She's representing America very well as our ambassador to the United Nations. She is doing a spectacular job. It's early, but she has just been really great. We're here today to celebrate American engineering and American manufacturing. We're also here today to celebrate jobs. Jobs. This plane, as you know, was built right here in the great state of South Carolina. Our goal as a nation must be to rely less on imports and more on products made here in the USA. Right here in the USA. It's amazing to think that a little over 113 years ago, next door in North Carolina, Orville Wright was the first man to sail the skies in a very little airplane. The 1903 Wright Flyer was made of mostly wood and cloth. It was so small that Orville's brother Wilbur could not join him on the flight. He was always very upset about that. The flight lasted all of 12 seconds, but it was incredible. That flight was a testament to the American spirit. I see that same spirit everywhere I travel in the country. I saw that spirit all throughout the campaign. We have the greatest people anywhere in the world. We have the greatest spirit, and you just look at what's going on today in our country. You look at what's happening with jobs. You look at what's happening with plants moving back into our country. All of a sudden, they're coming back, and they're going to be very happy about it, believe me. They're going to be very, very happy. As your president, I'm going to do everything I can to unleash the power of the American spirit and to put our great people back to work. This is our mantra: buy American and hire American. We want products made in America, made by American hands. You probably saw the Keystone Pipeline I approved recently, and the Dakota. And I'm getting ready to sign the bill. I said, where is the pipe made? and they told me, not here. I said, that's good. Add a little sentence that you have to buy American steel. And you know what? It's the way it is. It's the way it's going to be. We are going to fight for every last American job. We've come a long way since the Wright brothers and their first flight more than a century ago. Your plane is made of carbon fiber. It seats 330 passengers. It's 18 feet longer than the previous version of the 787. And this airplane can fly for half a day before it touches the ground. The name says it all, Dreamliner, great name. Our country is all about making dreams come true. Over the last number of years, that hasn't been necessarily the case, but we're going to make it the case again. That's what we do in America. We dream of things and then we build them. We turn vision into reality, and we will be doing a lot more of that, believe me, in the months and years to come. I also want to say a word to all of the members of the armed forces who are here with us today in this record crowd. South Carolina has a long, very, very proud military tradition and history. We salute all South Carolina military families, and we salute all the men and women who wear the uniform. We are going to fully rebuild our military. By the way, do you care if we use the F-18 Super Hornets? Or do you only care about it? What do you think? Well, I thought that was a Super Hornet. We are looking seriously at a big order, and we'll see how that, you know, the problem is that Dennis is a very, very tough negotiator, but I think we may get there. We're also working with the Air Force One project, which was a difficult project for previous administrations, but it looks like we're getting closer and closer. And we're going to ensure that our great service members have the tools, equipment, training, and resources they need to get the job done. As George Washington said, being prepared for war is the best way to prevent it. And that's really what it is. Best way to prevent war, being prepared. Peace through strength. We build a military might so great, and we are going to do that, that none will dare to challenge it. None. We will ensure our men and women in uniform have the latest, the most cutting-edge systems in their arsenal. Right now, it's not that way. It will be that way very, very soon, believe me. You will be an important player in this effort. Boeing has built many important aircraft, including, as I said, the F-18 Super Hornet, the F-15 Strike Eagle, and the Apache helicopter, just to name a few. And I'm being very, very serious. The new Air Force One, that plane, as beautiful as it looks, is 30 years old. Can you believe it? What can look so beautiful at 30? An airplane. I don't know. Which one do we like better, folks? Tell me. On every front, we are going to work for the American people. Nowhere in our focus is, and I mean this so strongly, and our focus has to be so strong, but my focus has been all about jobs. And jobs is one of the primary reasons I'm standing here today as your president, and I will never, ever disappoint you, believe me. I will not disappoint you. I campaigned on the promise that I will do everything in my power to bring those jobs back into America. We wanted to make much easier, it has to be much easier to manufacture in our country and much harder to leave. I don't want companies leaving our country, making their product, selling it back, no tax, no nothing, firing everybody in our country. We're not letting that happen anymore, folks. Believe me, there will be a very substantial penalty to be paid when they fire their people and move to another country, make the product, and think that they're going to sell it back over what will soon be a very, very strong border. It's going to be a lot different. It's going to be a lot different. Already, American industry is roaring back. And believe me, if we, not me, I'm a messenger, if we didn't have this victory, we wouldn't be even talking about it. To achieve that goal, we're going to massively reduce job-crushing regulations, already started, you've seen that send our jobs to those other countries. We are going to lower taxes on American business so it's cheaper and easier to produce product and beautiful things like airplanes right here in America. We are going to enforce, very strongly, enforce our trade rules and stop foreign cheating. Tremendous cheating. Tremendous cheating. We want products made by our workers in our factories, stamped with those 4 magnificent words: made in the USA. Since November, jobs have already begun to surge. We're seeing companies open up factories in America. We're seeing them keep jobs at home. Ford, General Motors, Fiat Chrysler, just to name a very, very few. So many more already. They're keeping and bringing thousands of jobs back in our country because the business climate they know has already changed. In Arizona, Intel announced it will open a new plant that will create 10,000 American jobs. They're spending billions of dollars. We will see more and more of that across the country as we continue to work on reducing regulations, cutting taxes, including for the middle class, including for everyone, and including for business, and creating a level playing field for our workers. When there is a level playing field, and I've been saying this for a long time, American workers will always, always, always win. But we don't have a level playing field. Very shortly, you will have a level playing field again. Because when American workers win, America as a country wins. Big league wins. That's my message here today. America is going to start winning again, winning like never, ever before. We're not going to let our country be taken advantage of anymore in any way, shape, or form. We love America, and we are going to protect America. We love our workers, and we are going to protect our workers. We are going to fight for our jobs. We are going to fight for our families. And we are going to fight to get more jobs and better paying jobs for the loyal citizens of our country. Believe me. You've heard me say it before, and I will say it again. From now on, it's going to be America first. working together as a unit, there is nothing we cannot accomplish. No task too large, no dream too great, no goal beyond our reach. Just like you built this incredible airplane behind me, both of them when you think about it, we are going to rebuild this country and ensure that every forgotten community has the bright future it deserves. And by the way, those communities are forgotten no longer. The election took care of that. And we will pass on to our children the freedom and prosperity that is their American birthright. Our children will inherit from us a nation that is strong, that is proud, and that is totally free. And each of you will be part of creating that new American future. I want to thank you, South Carolina. I want to thank the great people of South Carolina. God bless you. May God bless the United States of America, and God bless Boeing. Thank you, everybody. Thank you.
So there it is, President Donald Trump finishing a roughly 15-minute speech at the Boeing facility in North Charleston with three simple words: God bless Boeing. As expected, it was a pro-American worker speech, a celebration of the American worker. That was the assumption by many observers, especially 2 days after that critical union vote at Boeing, where roughly 3,000 workers there voted not to join the International Association of Machinists. President Trump vowing to focus on American companies, American business, American workers above all, and also near the end of that speech, also vowing to take care of all the communities in this country that have been neglected, that he says have been forgotten. And he says he'll put policies in place to help not only them, but everyone. So again, Donald Trump speaking for about 15 minutes at Boeing, singing their praises, of course in stark contrast to the feuds that he's had with them in the past when he questioned their price tag on the projects for Air Force One. But today celebrating them, saying they are going to be a big part of the equation in building military might, in building aircraft might, and saying all companies need to keep their jobs here in the U.S. and promising sanctions for those who ship jobs overseas. So that concludes now our live coverage of the President's visit here to South Carolina in North Charleston. We do have crews on the ground. Of course, we'll bring you the very latest throughout the day. We do have several members from the Midlands that are there. We're going to try to catch up with all of those people, get their impressions of what they just heard and what they're seeing as Boeing, of course, the reason they had the President there, rolls out the 787-10 Dreamliner, the first in that new series of plane to roll off the assembly line at the North Charleston plant. We'll keep you covered throughout the day on our website, wach.com. Again, you can see the President mingling with the crowd there as he becomes part of that rollout ceremony that they will have at some point this afternoon. But we're going to send you back to your regular programming here momentarily. And again, come back with us throughout the day on our website, wach.com, and we'll have a full wrap-up and observations on this day, the presidential visit to South Carolina, coming up tonight on Watch Fox News at 10. Have a good rest of your day.